It is exactly noon. The sun is directly above you, and if you look down right now, you would notice something wrong. You have no shadow. Nothing does. Not you, not the wheat, not the old fence at the edge of the field. That's what noon does out here. For 1 hour, everything stands perfectly still, perfectly exposed, perfectly alone. And somewhere between the rows of wheat, a woman in white is already walking toward you. She has been walking toward you since the church bell struck 12. Today, you're going to meet Poludnitsa, the woman who owns the hour between noon and 1. And whether you're still talking when that hour ends, depends on what you say in the next few minutes.
You live in a village at the edge of the wheat country, and every child here learns the same rule before they learn their letters. The field is not yours between noon and 1. That hour belongs to her. The old women call it the dead hour, and they plan the whole day around it. Up before dawn, out of the field by 11, back only once the shadows return. Your grandmother told you why, the way her grandmother told her. 30 years ago, a strong young reaper named Yefim stayed past noon to finish his row. He wanted to impress the girl he loved. They found him at 1 o'clock, sitting upright among the wheat, eyes open, alive, and utterly empty. He never spoke another word for the rest of his life. The old folks say Poludnitsa asked him a question, and somewhere between her first word and the church bell, he ran out of things to say. And today, you're the one still in the field. You lost track of the hour. You looked up, and the sun was directly overhead.
You see her at the far end of your row, a woman, tall, dressed entirely in white, a dress too clean for a field, too bright for this light. She carries something in one hand, a sickle, you think, or a pair of shears, catching the sun each time it turns. She isn't hurrying. She doesn't need to. There is nowhere for you to go that the noon hour doesn't reach. As she gets closer, you notice the wheat around her doesn't move, not from her steps, not from the wind that's bending every other stalk in the field. And she casts no shadow, even though the sun is directly behind her now, then directly in front, then behind again, as if it can't decide which side of her to fall on. She stops 3 steps away. She smiles, pleasant, almost kind. And then she asks you the first question, something so ordinary you almost laugh. "Tell me," she says, "how was your work today?"
Here is what the legends never explain clearly enough. This is not a conversation, it's a test, and it has exactly one rule. You must keep talking. Not about anything, about your work, in complete and perfect detail, from the very first step to the very last, without skipping, without repeating a single word, without falling silent for even a breath. The old women say she once asked a girl to describe how flax becomes linen, sewing, growing, pulling, drying, breaking, combing, spinning, weaving, bleaching, every single step in order for a full hour. The girl who truly knew her craft lived to hear the church bell. The girl in the story before her did not. She hesitated, just once, just for a second, searching for the next word, and Poludnitsa reached out, calm as still water, and put both hands around her neck. Some say she twists, some say she simply takes what silence leaves behind. And right now, she is waiting for your answer. The bell struck 12 4 minutes ago. You have 56 minutes left, and you have already forgotten what you were going to say.
But you remember something your father told you years ago, sharpening his scythe by lamplight. Poludnitsa doesn't want your silence, boy. She wants to know if you belong to this field, or if you're just borrowing it. Because here is the part the old women whisper, but rarely say outright. The question is never really about flax or wheat.
or wool. It's about whether you actually know the thing you claim to do all day. A farmer who has truly worked his land, season after season, hands cracked and certain, can talk for an hour without trying. The words are just the truth, and the truth doesn't run out. It's only the ones who've been faking it, cutting corners, pretending to a skill they never earned, who reach the 11th minute and find nothing left to say. You have spent your whole life in this field. You know exactly how the wheat grows, exactly how the scythe should turn, exactly when the grain is ready and when it isn't. Poludnitsa is still watching you, patient, waiting for the pause that will end you. You open your mouth. You have 3 choices.
Choice 1. You run. You drop your scythe and sprint for the tree line. And maybe you're fast enough. Maybe the hour is almost over anyway. Or maybe she was never truly chasing you. She was only ever waiting. And the wheat itself seems to catch your ankles the moment your feet leave the row. Choice 2. You try to talk your way through it, bluffing, borrowing words from every story you've ever heard, hoping she can't tell the difference between real knowledge and performance. Some men have survived this way. Most haven't. The moment you slow down to think of the next lie, she'll know. Choice 3. You tell her the truth. Not a story, the actual, boring, complete truth of your work. Every step, exactly as your father taught you, exactly as his father taught him. It isn't exciting. It isn't clever. It's just correct, for 56 straight minutes, without a single pause. In the old stories, they never say which choice the listener makes. They only say that when the church bell finally rings 1 o'clock, the wheat around you starts moving again in the wind. And so does your shadow.
So tell me in the comments, which choice do you make? Run, bluff, or answer true? Be honest. And if you want to walk into another legend, somewhere new in the world, every week, you know what to do. Next time, you're lost in a forest in old Russia, and the trees behind you no longer look like the trees you walked past. Something is leading you in circles, and it sounds exactly like your own grandfather's voice. If you follow it, you may never find the path again. See you there.